Hi.
It's my birthday Eve.
No, just your birthday Eve now.
Oh, this is my birthday Eve. Oh, happy solemnity of Saint John the Baptist.
Yes, I believe you're correct.
I am correct.
Oh, you said that in a questioning way.
Oh, yeah, no, I was trying to remember his name. I had a brain fart.
In celebration, we are to all eat locusts and wear a camel hair shirt.
Always Sunny is involved, right?
Yes. You can grab some honeysuckle to season your locusts.
Yummy.
Locusts.
Yummy.
Did we ever get the cicadas here? I thought we were supposed to.
I don't think so. No, that's. I don't know that we ever really got them here. Everyone talks about this phenomenon, but I don't remember ever experiencing it.
Ever? I mean, we got them last year. The girls were collecting shells.
Oh, that's right.
Because our girls are super weird. Well, not super weird, because I kind of encouraged them to do it. But they went around and collected the exoskeletons of the metamorphosized cicadas, and they were going to make dioramas and things like that. They never got around to it because they can't commit to art projects, but we had a box of bug skeletons for a long time, which were cool. Once I convinced the girls that they're not dead bugs, they were the exoskeletons. Are like, oh, cool, so I like little toys. Sure, okay, go with that.
We had those in our basement forever.
Oh,
so gross.
But I never really saw, like, the fully formed ones. And I guess the 17-year ones are, like, maybe they're hitting the East Coast, but everybody's talking about them.
Yeah, I know. I haven't experienced anything like that.
Yeah, not this year. Nothing. Anyway, that's slightly off topic. Only slightly.
All right.
Yeah.
So, B99, Season 2, Episode 14. The defense rests.
Oh, yes. Oh, jeez. Good times.
So we open on Jake complaining about ants on his desk.
Can relate.
We have an infestation.
Oh.
They're everywhere. Holt says they should freeze them out. They open the windows, and the ants take refuge in the squad's coats. Post credits, Jake and Terry are at the courthouse. Jake says Sophia is acting distant. Jake asks her out that night, but Sophia says she's busy. Says she has a minute now, so let's go for a walk. At the precinct, Wunsch shows up. She's going for a job in Boston, but the commissioner doesn't like her history of issues with Holt, so she's going to ask for his recommendation. Go away. Meanwhile, Boyle and Gina's parents are still going out, and his dad wants to propose. Gina won't give her blessing. Amy offers to help with her conflict resolution binder.
Yes, because she's
binder Amy. Smell. At the walk, Sophia says her boss isn't giving her cases because she's dating a cop. She asks to press pause on the relationship, and he says okay. But privately to Terry, he says the problem is her boss, so he starts plotting. He wants Terry to go with him to the defense attorney gala to work the boss.
The same defense attorney gala that Sophia said she was busy that night to attend.
So they go into the den of snakes. So at the gala, Jake and Terry are surrounded by their worst enemies. At the precinct that night, Holt asks Rosa for advice. Does he help Wunsch and get her out of the city, or does he torpedo her career? Rosa says she got revenge once and it came back to bite her. So she tells him to be nice to Wunsch. Holt dismisses her. Like, in more ways than one.
Yeah, he's like... So she says, why don't you just ask Terry? And Holt says, what, Mother Terry? You know what he would say. He would say, take the high road. You understand things a bit better, so I wanted your advice. So when she tells him to take the high road, she's like, you're dismissed, Mother Rosa.
Mother Diaz.
Or Mother Diaz.
Sophia sees Jake and Terry and tells them the plan is terrible. She tells him to go. Jake says he's done his research on her boss. The boss rejects Jake's charms, despite him bringing up the stuff he thought the boss likes. Also, Jake accidentally says he loves Sophia. Meanwhile, Boyle and Amy ambush Gina with a form for Gina to sign. Gina admits she's just worried about her mom getting hurt. Boyle says his dad would never hurt her mom, so she agrees to talk to Boyle's dad.
It's really hard when I don't know the names.
Lynn.
Lynn is the mom's name?
Nope.
Oh, okay. See, this is why I have trouble. It's a scab.
Jake figures out the boss is a gambler. The boss's last name is Hoitzman. So they go on a gambling montage. It goes well. They bonded.
Yeah, Jake keeps challenging Hoitzman to various random things that are kind of disruptive to the gala, but it's a bonding thing, so they keep at it. It's kind of fun.
Sophia tells Jake to leave. He says it's going well and goes to have a literal pissing contest with Hoitzman. He goes to the bathroom and finds Hoitzman doing cocaine. And that's cocaine. So Jake arrests Hoitzman. I don't even have a nose, Peralta. The defense rests. Some great lines.
Roll credits. And it's played by...
an SNL guy, right?
Yeah. Man, any other day of the week I could have told you his name, but it's lost me. I've lost it. It's okay. But it's a famous SNL guy.
Back at the precinct, Holt tells Rosa he took the high road. He also got lunch tickets to see Wicked in Boston. It's second class.
Yeah, it's his way of gloating to Wunsch in a very subtle way because it's Holt.
In the interrogation room, Gina questions Boyle's dad, and he passes with flying colors. Meanwhile, Jake is processing Hoitzman. Sophia is Hoitzman's defense attorney. They argue about the relationship. They break up, or rather, she dumps Jake. He heads her off as she storms out. She says it wasn't serious. He says it was serious for him. Jake's horrified to find out the ending of Romeo and Juliet. Holt confronts Wunsch to gloat. She says she didn't take the job. She got it to use it as leverage for a promotion. Then she sexually assaults Holt by kissing him full on the lips. And I'm like, well, that should get her fired.
Yeah. Weird moment, but it was basically she was using the whole thing to get a promotion, so now she does outrank Holt again.
Yeah.
In his own precinct. It was all a ruse. Darn it, Mother Diaz. Oh well.
So at the bar, Gina and the others celebrate the impending marriage. Meanwhile, Jake, Terry, and Holt commiserate. Holt says, let's get soused.
Let's get soused. Yeah, nice little bonding moment for them.
Episode 15, Windbreaker City.
Great episode.
What did I say?
Windbreaker City. And I said great episode.
Oh, great episode. Okay, I'm sorry. I thought I maybe said something wrong. You were correcting me, but...
No.
All right. Jake walks into the precinct with a box of Sophia's stuff. Boyle and Terry advise Jake on getting over it. Jake wants to take the high road and also see her again. So he texts Sophia. He's acting super needy. Post-credits, there's an emergency meeting. Boyle keeps telling Jake to do something cathartic. You need to cathart.
Yeah, you need to cathart. You need to cathart all over the place.
Terry says the squad is being invited to an anti-terrorism thing.
Of some kind of event where it's like, it's usually...
Drill.
Yeah, it's a drill, but it's headed off by all of the...
Federal.
All the federal organizations that fight terrorism. Homeland Security,
ATF.
ATF. There's another one. The FBI is there. But the NYPD, because they had such a great showing at the drills that we saw earlier in the season, they're invited to participate.
Yeah.
So they're really excited. Until...
Jake says it'll be cathartic for him. Holt tells Amy and Rosa they both asked for Saturday off, and they have to figure it out and decide who's taking it off. Gina...
I had a similar situation happen recently. But I got the day
Gina approaches Holt at the precinct. She needs someone to take a personality test for her psych test, so he volunteers. She says, don't be insulted by the results. Meanwhile, the squad gets to Windbreaker City, a meeting of all the federal agencies that work to stop terrorism. Jake tries to talk to the other, so it's Homeland Security, and it's that guy. I can't remember his name. I think it's Nick something.
He was the douche in Parks and Rec.
Yeah.
Have we seen him before in Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
No.
Okay.
No, this was the first time I saw him in Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Okay. I couldn't remember.
So, basically, they don't respect the NYPD, and they have the NYPD playing the part of hostages in the drill, and they're, of course, insulted. Jake asks for his bonds to be loose so he can check his texts. Then he decides they should break out of their bonds. Meanwhile, Rosa and Amy discuss Saturday. Amy thinks Rosa's excuse, dinner with her parents, is bull. But Amy wants to go to a TED Talk about power poses.
Power poses. Yeah, and Jake is like, this is baloney. The NYPD being set as the hostages for the drill. It just means we just have to sit there and do nothing, which is really insulting. So let's switch it up, break out of our bonds, and steal some guns and see if we can take over the situation on our own.
Meanwhile, Gina is giving Holt the psych test, asking him what body of water he identifies with. He chooses ocean. The result is I9C36G, a robust sense of self and good for leadership. Gina says she got the same assessment. Meanwhile, Jake and Boyle break free. They get the guards' guns. Meanwhile, Terry's like, no, I'm not going to do anything to mess this up for us. They start executing the ATF terrorists. Terry stays tied up. Jake frees the rest of the 9-9. Amy and Rosa compete. The highest body count gets Saturday off. Terry saves the day right as Jake gets captured. Basically, they were just talking shit about police, like the cops, and all they do is sit on their fat asses, and that sets Terry off, and he
breaks the chair he's in. And yeah, he comes in and saves Jake from being captured. So now they have all the hostages and
the terrorists.
Well, yeah, right, because they were the hostages. They take all the terrorists hostage, the ones they didn't kill, and they're like, "Sweet, we won this. We can call it." Until
right as they celebrate, Boyle sees Jake checking his phone and says they should go after the marshals. They're in. Amy and Rosa are tied, so they still need to settle it. So Jake and Terry become terrorists and go after Homeland Security. The leader tries to end the drill, but Jake goads him into a fight to the death. He makes demands or else he kills the hostages. At the precinct, Holt buys Gina sweets. He challenges her psych results. He's trying to prove they're different. She sees through it. Amy sacrifices Rosa to get Saturday, and they both die.
Yeah, so they were tied, they were pinned down, and Amy just turns her gun on Rosa and blasts her. She's like, boom, I win.
And she
and she stands up in power poses and gets shot, of course. So they're both down, but Amy technically wins.
Soon, Jake and Kendrick are the only ones left.
Kendrick being the douchebag ATF.
The douche.
Yeah, the douche. And the ATF and the leader of the whole drill, who had been like, you fucked
super rude.
Up. Yeah.
So Amy sacrifices Rosa to get Saturday, and they both die. Jake and Kendrick are the only ones left. They face off. Kendrick tricks Jake and kills him. After the drill, Kendrick says it was a mistake to invite the NYPD. Terry pleads their case. Jake says the catharsis worked, though. At the precinct, Holt apologizes to Gina. He says he wasn't being a good leader, so he expands her responsibilities.
Without a promotion or pay raise.
Then Amy tells Rosa she can have Saturday. Rosa admits that the dinner on Saturday is to introduce her family to Marcus. Jake gives Sophia her stuff back. It's reasonably amicable.
Yeah.
Then we have episode 16.
Oh, is that right? 15?
Yeah.
My bad.
The Wednesday incident.
Right. Yeah, okay.
At the morning meeting, Jake says he's after the Dragon, a human trafficker. Then the organized crime unit takes the case from him. Holt is cracking down on the unit, wasting time, just being overly mean.
Holtish, yeah.
Post-credits, the squad is trying to figure out why Holt is in a bad mood, and they all say it's Jake's fault. He wants to prove it's something else.
So they blame Jake because Jake had offered Holt a glass of bubbly in the morning to celebrate something.
It was cider.
Yeah, and Holt's like, we can't drink during work. And he's like, nope, it's not alcoholic. There's nothing you can be mad about. He pops the lid, and it hits the sprinkler and floods Holt's office. So everyone's like, yeah, he's pissed off that you flooded his office.
Terry is working the squad too to try to appease Holt. Boyle announces he has caught his bank robber. It's a super old guy played by Gary Marshall. Probably one of the last roles he did.
Probably.
It was a little over a year before he died.
Over?
Yeah, so this episode came out in February 2015.
He died in January 2016.
July 2016.
Oh, July. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Amy and Rosa are skeptical. The old guy keeps confessing to Boyle, but acts sweet to the others. Then you wrote that I said it's Gary Marshall. It's the Sanderson sisters. Jake goes to talk to Holt. He wants to know why Holt is in a bad mood. He refuses to think that it's his own fault.
Yeah.
Jake wants to ask Kevin, and he asks Gina to help him do it. He cashed in his chit for getting Gina her job.
Yeah, so Gina has a good relationship with Kevin, so he's like, you got to get me an in with Kevin so we can ask him what's up with Holt.
Yeah. And Gina's like, no, he's on a first name basis with me. He calls me Gina, not Ms. Linetti. So they go to talk to Kevin. Jake asks if something happened at home to make Holt angry. Kevin says no. Kevin will help them investigate why Holt is mad. Boyle finds Amy and Rosa being nice to his perp. After the ladies leave, he gloats to Boyle. The old guy does.
Yeah. Marvin, turns out.
The Holt investigation goes through breakfast to his painting class. At the precinct, Terry is running interference on Holt management. The Holt investigation goes to his fencing class. He was fine that day, but hasn't been back since. Kevin is distraught. Holt has been lying to Kevin. He said he had been back to fencing class. Kevin goes home, and Gina and Jake go to the precinct. And as Kevin is leaving, he says, Peralta, Linetti, and Gina is devastated.
Yes.
Meanwhile, Boyle is interrogating the perp, Marvin, and he's standing up to Amy and Rosa. Then he dies. Marvin, not Boyle.
Yes. Well, it's not drop dead in the scene, R.I.P. Boyle. Yeah, the perp just dies in the interrogation room. Just.
Jake and Gina continue their investigation. Holt canceled a meeting with the deputy chief after fencing. They find a security camera that may have seen what happened. Terry perfects the precinct until Hitchcock lights a road flare for no reason. Well, to heat his oatmeal because they weren't allowed to use the kitchen. So Terry's trying to put it out, holding the road flare, and Holt, of course, walks in on this and blames Terry.
It's like, Jeffords, I
can't believe you're the biggest problem today.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Jake finds out that Holt got mugged, except Holt kicked their asses. So why is he mad? He was lightly stabbed. And this is all happening at
Holt's house.
And at Holt's house with Kevin, and Kevin storms out, and Holt is mad at Jake for kicking around in his affairs. Basically, Kevin is mad that Holt didn't tell him that he got stabbed, and I'm your husband, you should tell me everything, blah, blah, blah. So at the precinct, Jake asks Holt how his workday went. He wants to apologize, but he can't get personal. Boyle, Amy, and Rosa talk about the perp. Turns out he really was guilty.
Yeah, he had paid Amy for
The ginger ale.
And she ran the serial number on the dollar he gave her, and it turned out to match one of the stolen dollars.
Yeah. But they're like, but it was really rough how you threw water in his face. And he's like, I
After-
thought he was faking it.
After he died.
Yeah. I thought he was faking it.
Yeah, good moment for Boyle.
Yeah. Holt goes into Jake's car. Jake wants to catch the bad guys that mugged him. Holt says he's right and that he was wrong to act that way, and he relents at the precinct. Even Kevin is back to being happy with them and thanks Jake and Gina for their help. Once again, calling Gina by her first name. So, yeah, good episode.
Yes.
Good episodes.
Yeah. The last two especially I really enjoyed. I always like the drill episodes, seeing the squad coming together to, one up the other squads. Always a lot of fun. Wunsch and Holt facing off is always fun. Yeah, not a lot to analyze, but
No.
just good stuff.
But again, you kind of see, like, the different dynamics. Like, I always love to see them working with each other,
Yeah.
like, in different pairings and groups and whatnot, so it's always fun.
Yeah.
How about Boyle being a total bro in Windbreaker City? Like,
Yeah, when they had everything wrapped up, but Boyle's like, no, Jake's still trying to check his phone. He still needs some catharsis, so let's keep this going. Let's take down the marshals. Like, man, Boyle is, like, top-notch wingman friend. He's all about Jake.
so that's all I got.
All right.